So my last two threads, identical threads. The first one they just tried to muddy up like every other psyop. The second one I said I'm not allowing any comments unless they're actually related to the thread because I already knew what lie they were going to tell. So when you know liars really well and you know evil really well, you can set traps for them. So I set up that post as a trap. How? Let me explain. So they used the so-called Hategate documents to debunk the Canadian terror report that came out February 17th, citing Diagolon as the main reason to justify the largest police operation in Canadian history, which then occurred on February 18th, 2022, at the trucker convoy, clearing everybody out, trampling old ladies with horses, beating up veterans, beating up Canadians, arresting truckers, etc., etc. So I knew they were going to go and publish the Hategate documents to debunk this. But the Hategate documents are a wonderful way of simply proving me right and proving that they lie. What do I mean by this? Well, they have a wonderful timeline in the Hategate documents. It starts off March 16th, 2022. Diagolon is not even considered a group, let alone a violent extremist group. It's just considered Jeremy McKenzie making up some fucking bullshit when he was high on edibles, and that's a quote from Jeremy, by the way, on one of his lives. So one whole month goes by, and then February 17, 2022, a Canadian anti-terror report publishes a special report citing Diagolon as the main reason they need to start the largest Canadian operation of police in history because they are a violent extremist group and they are among the truckers and the convoy, and they are going to be recruiting people, and they might even damage government buildings or go after politicians. That's what it says in the report. February 17, 2022. February 18th, 2022. As we said, the largest operation goes off. We have a whole bunch of people hurt, a whole bunch of people arrested, even truckers, veterans, but not one member of Diagolon is hurt or arrested during the largest police operation in Canadian history that cited them as the reason it needed to happen. So obviously people started asking questions. So what does Hategate do? On May 19th, 2022, the government comes out again and says, sorry guys, our bad. Diagolon really wasn't a violent extremist group. They're just a bunch of guys talking shit. They're nothing to worry about. Now, why would they do this? Because they needed to justify why, even on February 17th, they were supposedly so violent and so dangerous that they needed to justify the largest operation for police in Canadian history. And then 1 month later in May, after none of them had been arrested, none of them had been hurt, none of them had been even questioned, they say, oh, well, we didn't have to do any of that because we found out that they're really not that important after all. But they were a month ago when we needed an excuse to justify the largest police operation in Canadian history and destroy the trucker convoy, which was the most potent and most important protest in Canadian history. Isn't it funny and how convenient and all these coincidences? So Diagolon was nothing until they needed it to be something. And then once none of them got arrested, harmed, charged, or anything happened to any of them, they come out and say that they weren't important after all. But now we're supposed to believe that they're like the most important, they're going to save Canada, and they aren't working hand in hand with the government. This is why I set traps for evil, and this is why the truth always comes out.